The question of the week.
What is it, Joe? What's the question of the week?
How many streaming services is too many? Earlier today, I had recommended an anime to Kurt, and it's not on any of his streaming services, and so it made me think, how many streaming services are you paying for, and do you think that's too many, or do you think you should, or do you think you have room to pick up some more? What do you guys think?
To me, I think it's a deeper conversation, but I want to hear what Kurt's got.
Yeah, so right now I am at my limit for streaming services because it really is how many shows or movies am I going to be active with at any given point? And so, I go to Hulu every day. Like I've got some things that I watch on Hulu every day.
And yet you struggle to bring something I'm nerding out about every freaking week.
No, I actually had something this week, but that's okay.
I
can hold it. I can hold it to myself.
Oh no, your age, it's very difficult to hold it. Don't do that. Update.
That's true. I'm going right now.
But he's so dependable.
Yep.
Oh
God. That's okay.
Please carry on, Kurt.
No, I think you mean continue your stream of thought. So I do Disney Plus and Hulu are two big ones for me. Although word is they're merging, but it doesn't matter because the price isn't gonna go down.
Well, yeah, because Disney has a 2/3 share of Hulu and has for a while.
Yeah, but it's worse than that. They've already, with a beta, started merging them.
Oh. Okay. Here's the details because I listened to the Daily Tech News Show. One, Disney owns more than 2/3, and they're about to buy the rest legally from Comcast, so they're going to be 100% owners. And the first check is already basically in the legal process has already been sent and cleared, giving them that permission to go and start merging. So they're bringing Hulu. They're getting rid of the Hulu app and bringing it into Disney Plus itself.
Right.
Okay. I mean, they've had it bundled for a long time.
Yeah, with ESPN.
With ESPN
but they've started incorporating the Hulu stuff into Disney Plus.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Okay.
But does it change the price? That's my only question, Kirk. I don't think I'm on the beta because it hasn't started showing up for me. Does it change the price? Because right now I don't pay for Hulu because I'm up and down. I'll talk about that when I answer this question, but I would include Hulu if it's already in Disney Plus personally, but you watch a lot of things on Hulu. What else?
Yeah. So they're actually, they haven't changed the price yet, but it's looking, Disney just had a jack of the price in December. Once they fold it all in, the current rumor is that they are just going to give you no choice but the bundle, and it's just going to be one service.
Yeah, honestly, as a business decision, that would make sense.
Well, and given Disney Plus's content, plus the day after shows from Hulu,
plus the sports from ESPN.
Yeah, I don't care that much about that, but people do.
Right.
But people
do. And it keeps you mixing. But carry on.
So I think that people are gonna gripe about it and pay for it.
Yeah, and as from a business standpoint, putting out the cost of managing 3 different platforms versus one. And that's part of what I was actually listening to today. It's not today's episode. I'm always behind on Daily Tech News Show, but it's a recent one. It's in the last week or two. They're talking about the platform. So Hulu was built long before Disney Plus was built. So they had a much simpler platform. It was definitely coded in different ways that it was a big gamble for Disney to even try to merge, but it's so far, technologically speaking, it is paying off. And it makes sense because the guy that was talking about it, I'm sorry, I forget his name, it wasn't one of the main hosts, it was one of the guests on the show, was talking about how he doesn't watch Disney Plus all the time. He cancels it a lot because there's just not enough there. So he'll get it, watch a show, cancel it, right? But Hulu, like yourself, Kurt, you said you watch a couple shows every day. He watches Hulu all the time. So now it's together. Okay, it makes sense for him just to have it. And okay, he'll check out some Disney stuff, but he's there for the Hulu. Same for the sports people. The sports people might then check out the Avengers or vice versa. Me, I'm the opposite. I always have Disney Plus in my house because there's almost always something. Granted, I've got 4 kids and a wife. right?
Yep.
As opposed to, you've got your wife in your house, and then Joe, you've got the little ones. So we all have different stages of where we're entertaining people. And so I always have Disney Plus because I like it, but the kids will always find something there. My wife loves showing them the old Disney movies, this kind of things. But Hulu, not so much. My older two were watching some anime on it, and I told them, well, y'all can pay for it or just get over it, because at one point in time, I lived on Hulu, and I just don't anymore. And I've canceled it. I've brought it back for a show, watched a few extra things. It just didn't keep me, canceled it. But now, if it's in the bundle, I do it. Now, the real question, well, I'll talk about. So for me, what's too much? I think it falls into what you were saying, Kurt. It's about what you watch and what's capturing you. My wife likes Stars for one show. Stars has Outlander on it.
Yep.
And there's some other historical things that she'll watch, but that was her big pull. So when Outlander's over, we go, okay, let's cancel it until Outlander comes back, because you don't really care. And that's what the biggest thing between days of cable, even though this is kind of dangerously getting too near that idea of cable, right? Where, well, if you want all these other shows, you want
all the different packages.
Yeah. So, well, you want the basic channels, but for me, it's always like BBC, Comedy Channel, and MTV, or the 301X. I wanted to watch comedies across all of them, really, because MTV had ridiculousness on the Rob Dyrdek stuff. Of course, Comedy Central is Comedy Central. And then BBC has a lot of the English comedies I like to watch. But there were 3 different packages, and I couldn't just pick. We are able to pick, but this merging, now they already owned them, and that to me is the difference. They already owned majority of Hulu. They owned all of ESPN. They owned all of Disney content. It makes sense for me to do that. Now, if we start seeing, say, Netflix fail, or we start seeing Apple TV fail, and then it starts growing. Now, like, you got to stop. You got to stop. You can't put them all in one bundle, because now we're going back to cable, and we know with cable, it wasn't one company that owned everything, but it was a conglomerate where they worked together to have the laws to say, oh, no, we kind of own everything, and you have to go our way. And that's the bad day. But for everybody else, it is what you do. Now, Netflix is my go-to. I've loved Netflix since the day they put out discs. When Blockbuster stepped up and were doing not the mail discs, that just wasn't as good as Netflix, but they did the membership that you could bring in the mail discs and trade them in that day and get a movie that day while it mailed you something else. And then you could have up to so many per week. That's when I left Netflix for a little time, but then Blockbuster failed. Random Kid says here that I heard most streaming services lose money. Netflix might be the only profitable one. I'm not sure Netflix is profitable yet, but what do you think, Joe?
I heard that as well, actually.
Okay.
From Linus Tech Tips was talking about it. And
so I agree that most, if not all, streaming services are losing money right now, but Netflix has been at it a lot longer than anybody else. So what did Linus say?
Yeah, basically that's what he covered, that a lot of people are losing money. And actually, it might have been the same area where I heard that Warner Brothers is talking about merging with Paramount, because they mentioned that I think it was Warner Brothers is $40 billion in the hole.
Well, and that's part of the reason why they've been so Warner Brothers has been moving stuff over to Netflix. Like a lot of the DC
that's the thing, you make more money licensing than you do running your own service.
That's why Disney has started licensing stuff again, and
that's why Sega's not making a new console, because Sega is a highly profitable company because all they make is games and put them out on all the platforms.
Right? Yeah, because the consoles themselves, as far as console game, I know that's not what we're here to talk about.
It's an allegory,
but consoles themselves are not profitable. They make all their profit off their games,
and really never have been. It's all
true.
They've always been loss leaders.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, if you look at the hardware itself, it makes sense that they're not profitable. The consoles.
So anyway, back to the streaming services. So interestingly enough, that you mentioned merging with Paramount, because I would find that, Paramount's Viacom, right? So I know for a fact the MTV app is going away at the end of this month, because it tells us that every time we open it up, because right now my wife and daughter are watching RuPaul's Drag Race on there. I canceled Paramount Plus as well. Liked it. I really did like it. It just wasn't enough for me to go back. At least I have to hit it at least once a week, right? In my busy life, in my Diablo 4 life, and everything else I'm watching, right? I have to go back at least once a week, and I just wasn't. The Star Trek stuff is what brought me, but it didn't keep me. And I'll tell you this. it doesn't matter what Warner Brothers and Paramount do if they do not keep up to date. That's the biggest thing Hulu has. Hulu is next day TV. That's their thing, right? That's what keeps them right up there with Netflix. Netflix is streaming movies and original content and all this. Now Hulu has original content, don't get me wrong, but the two differences were Netflix is your steady go-to. Hulu is, hey, I don't have to have cable. I can watch this tomorrow. And that's exactly what I did for a while. Those are two great things. But Paramount Plus, I went there for one reason to start with. Well, two. I would tell you two, because I knew the Star Trek stuff was there, and I wanted to see at the time in Star Trek Discovery was one whole season was out, and Picard was about to come out at the time. And like, okay, what else is there? And that's when I found ridiculousness. Now, I'd watched it when I had cable many, many years. My wife and I loved it. We found a way when we had satellite service and stuff, we could stream it on the computer directly from their site and that kind of thing. It's 10 years old. They are currently putting out episodes right now, but on Paramount Plus, you're getting stuff that's 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That cannot stand. You will not make any progress in this streaming battle if you don't get your crap up to date.
Well, it's their thing about, if it's not Star Trek, then it has to be a new series or a new movie. Otherwise, we're not going to bother.
And maybe that's why they're failing.
And I got rid of Paramount Plus after I got caught up on all the Star Trek stuff. So I got all caught up. I actually did watch a couple of new shows, which I thought were great. I think Tulsa King was one of them.
Yeah.
And I love those shows. But then I had to make a decision on costs and just said, well, you know what? I can go back to Paramount Plus later and get caught up on whatever I'm missing right now.
I should probably watch more Paramount Plus before we lose it, because we bought Walmart Plus for like, it was half off, so it was like $50 for a year, and it came with Paramount Plus, and so I should probably hurry up and binge some stuff on there.
Should you? Or is it telling you that, hey, you really didn't care in the first place because it didn't grab you? Because I guarantee you, when it was new, you and Kelsey went through it and go, oh, what are we going to watch? What are we going to check out? And yet here you're going, I haven't really watched it.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the Halo series, and it was meh. And I watched a couple other things on there, but yeah, for people who haven't played the games or watched or read the books, the Halo series was probably all right, because I know that because my mother-in-law, she's never played the games, never read the books, and she actually liked the Halo series. But anyone who is even a little bit familiar with the lore behind it is going to watch it and be like, that's not Halo. That's a sci-fi story in the skin of Halo.
It was cool to see the characters in real life. It was interesting to know where they pulled some of the ideas from the games. Like, I forget the name of that game, that Halo, but it's the one where you're not Master Chief. There was a game where you were the strike squad. So they pulled from that. ODST, thank you. They pulled from ODST something, but they also obviously brought Master Chief in because you can't do a show. But yeah, I agree with you. It was like, I mean, my son was wanting to watch.
They did a Halo movie without Master Chief.
That was good too.
Yeah, the one with the girl from Narnia.
I don't remember the actors and actresses, but the one where they're the cadets or whatever.
Yeah. They're the cadets on Reach when Reach is taken over by the Covenant. Yep.
Yeah, it was good. But that's the thing with Paramount Plus is you're half butting it here. I know, because if I say the other word, Joe's gonna like bloop and get on to me. And I can only have so many bleeps in my contract. But they're keep in mind, Paramount Plus is
Paramount
CBS.
Plus was just
CBS has never given a crap. CBS just rehashes the same shows constantly with a new name and a new cast.
Are they the ones that did NCIS and they have like a million different versions of it?
CSI all over the world, NCIS, SWAT in 3 different places, I think, Hawaii 5-0, and it's all these crime procedurals.
The Rookie. I think they did
no,
the
that's
Rookie.
ABC.
No, that's ABC. And don't you be talking crap about
that. You shut your mouth about Nathan Fillion.
I've watched the Rookie. I like it. I didn't care for the spinoff, but I liked the Rookie.
Oh, I actually like it.
Yeah,
What's the spinoff?
the
It's
spinoff is
with Niecy Nash
with the federal agent that shows up in a couple of episodes.
Oh, I thought they might
Rookie
spin that
FBI.
off. I did see a commercial for that. I haven't.
It's fun. I like it, but
There
yeah.
you go.
Oh, just the just because I have a question about the Halo thing because I haven't watched it. Do they even give a crap about giving a nod towards red versus blue?
Nope.
Then bleep them. I'm out.
Yeah. This last comment before we move on to the actual show. A random kid says, I would watch more Hulu if it didn't have ads, but I don't want to pay for the ad-free version. I get the ad version on my cell phone. I mean, I think that's more of a statement of fact, and because it sounds like it's gonna be a complaint, but it's like if you're complaining, but here's the thing, and I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. I paid for the ad-free version for a very long time, and stuff like Marvel's Agent of Shield wasn't ad-free. They would do like Peacock and other places do movies. I think most people do the movies now this way with ads instead of cutting them up like Tubi. I mean, Tubi's just gonna cut them up like it's TV, but they would play a commercial at the beginning that was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. Then you got the show ad-free without any interruptions. And yeah, there's that.
I'd be okay with that. I don't like getting interrupted all the time.
So here's the thing. I buy Hulu with it's supposed to be ad-free, right?
Right.
But I also have the live TV add-on because my wife insists on having live TV for some god-awful reason.
Okay.
Which gives you ads even on the programs that you've recorded or the shows
does it act like actually live TV where they don't even touch it? It's just a straight broadcast of whatever that channel is.
Sort of, yes. So here's the thing. If I'm watching, there was a new season of Kitchen Nightmares because of the writer's strike, right? So I was watching Kitchen Nightmares. It shows up on broadcast TV. If you watched it live the night before, you could watch it. Okay. But it would also show up on Hulu next day, like Hulu, right? Like regular Hulu.
Yeah.
Because I have live TV, it gives me the ad version.
Even though you're watching the next day.
And even though I paid for the ad free. Yeah. So guess who's probably going to give up ad free? Because I'm not seeing an advantage.
I mean, that's the thing too. And they're not charging that. And that's my thing is what I'll tell you, my winner in the game right now, Peacock all day long.
Which I also canceled.
I get that, but it's super cheap. It's one of the cheapest out there. The ads are very short and to the point, and the content is, I mean, they just keep, for me, they just keep. Now, I'm a huge Bravo fan in the sense of the Below Deck series. I watch all the Below Decks and love that stuff. They get movies very fast. I think that's where I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. I didn't watch it yet because it's just not quite my thing.
Well, and now it's on Netflix.
Well, no, I saw that one.
It's all over the place now.
Like Five Nights at Freddy's dropped really fast. I mean, Peacock is, and I know that's NBC. Who's NBC's
Universal?
Universal, thank you.
Yep.
And they are killing it as far as hitting different notes on let's get this TV out there and let's work with. And I don't know about the live because I don't do any live TV.
Well, again, I wouldn't except my wife wants it. So it's so I'm kind of stuck between a rock and an hard place.